What's up, everyone? Just diving into some Roku right here. JJ from TTU. It's October 10th. So, a little while back, we did a little trade review on Roku. Let's clean this chart up real quick. Let's just make it a little clean. So, we got this longer term trend line from the past, and we dove in and we did a trade review right after this earnings play. And we talked about Roku coming to the 75.90, right? We're looking for the break above these guys, VP. We get the close, okay? And we pushed up right into this VP cluster using candle patterns. We got the double top. So dive in, get some confirmation. We get the crossover above the 5 EMA, momentum, right? We got a little pullback. It's the 34. It holds, break above. We actually get to that double top now. So what's cool is we get the 8 crossing the 21. Momentum's going up into our double top and going back a little bit here as well. Let's dive into this VP before we break to this double top. Look how we get to this area here and we get this little stuff. So once we get above these guys, we're able to squeeze up to this double top, and then we're looking for a reclaim, right? And we're this level of resistance where we sold off, where we tried to bounce, got rejected. Here we bounce, we're able to break through it, right? We tried to fight, and we melted down right back to this 75.90 level. Okay, underneath the 75.90 level, there's a gap, right? Unfilled gap. So we come in, we fill this gap, and that brings us to where we are today. So that's what caught my attention. Got the alert for the 67.74, actually from this previous trade from a VP level that we identified. Okay. So what caught my attention was I saw this chart on Friday, and I saw that we held the 75.90, started to create some higher highs, higher lows, and then we started to break above the 5 EMA and the 8 EMA. Okay. So on Friday, I said I'm going to look for some pullbacks in this VP area. And I also identified it with the 5-day anchored VWAP and the 10-day anchored VWAP. So that helped me identify some levels to average in with the VP levels here. And so what I did was I averaged in from in here the 69.53 VP. This wasn't as much up on Monday. These slopes weren't as up as much, but so at the fill, dude, this was a level of resistance, right? We sold off. We saw some right rejection, right? We got ready to get here. We rejected. So I was taking some profits. This level's guilty until innocent. However, I think we could get above this, and this might be the momentum to break us into this 21 and then bring us to some key VP levels, which was this 74.39. And right here, this gap fill before we really get to this chunk 75.90 was a 75.06. So I took this trade, sold it to the double top, sold some into the open, looked for a 2-day anchor VWAP fill, got filled. And then I got my push, right? Set some stops at the 34, got to my VP node, set my stop up. I actually got trailed stop right up here in the 75.06 where this VP node is. So what I'd prefer to see on Roku now is potentially a little pullback. We could see if we could fill this gap area on the VP nodes, right? See if we could fill that area. And then we could reclaim these guys, make this 21 move down a little bit here. These 5 and 8 EMAs move up, and then we could mean revert this, push this back to the 50 EMA and up into the 79.35 VP node point of control. We also have the 3-month anchor VWAP. So wanted to just go over a little bit too these anchor VWAPs. So if we have the 30-day, your average 30-day market participant is, if they're short, is making money. Your average 3-month market participant is now losing money, and your average 5 and 10-day market participant is making money. Um, so we see how these are kind of pushing back to this 3-month anchor VWAP, the 50-day moving average. I just wanted to look at AMD too. Just talked about this a little bit, coming down to this level of support, this anchor here in this VP node, right? And we were able to get this push, and we were looking for a pullback. And so once we got these slopes going up on the EMA, the 5 and the 8, right, hit these 21s, 34s, right, get into this VP node, able to flag out a little bit, pull back to the 8 EMA and the 5, and break above, push above the 21, and get to that 50-day moving average, and push to this 3-month anchor. So maybe we could see something similar on some of these charts that happened to AMD here, who showed some strength recently, and maybe start to see some strength in some of these other charts and get some similar setups. Hope this was helpful.